See, we take a lot for granted. So when they saw me coming up, and I happened to be the only African American in this group. And when I got there, you know what they would start doing when they introduced me? They would start dancing. Woo, you know, that type of dance, because they were excited that I was there. I got to feeling so special every village I went to. You know who they treated me like I was? Lil Wayne. See, if Lil Wayne came to Arkansas, if I told everybody Lil Wayne would come to Arkansas Baptist College, everybody would be here. Am I right? Am I telling the truth? Everybody be trying to shake you. Yeah. But over there, see, education is value. You know what they wanted? Can I speak to you? President Hill, what can I do to come to America? What can I do to come to your institution? If Arkansas Baptist College was number one, we wouldn't have no room. We sold out. For people coming to try to get better. You know why people from Africa do so much better than they come here? They don't look at the problems, they look at the opportunities. They don't care about
Facts.
somebody holding me back or this over here. You mean I got a chance to do this? I can do this? I'm going to do that. Put me in. And then it really hit me when I brought back 6 Africans to Arkansas Baptist. I could not solve it to bring. So I had to write a letter to the embassy to get William and Anita the opportunity to tell them Arkansas Baptist College is going to scholarship you. Because that's how it goes. Then Fellowship Bible Church, they flew them over here, so we had to have. Then I had to tell a letter they could live in the dorm, they could eat. I scholarship the whole year. I can only do 6. Had a house over there and let them come here. William, all right, who had driven around Bill Gates and everybody when they went over there, he said, I just need you to help me to get to America. He said, I drive around all the rich people, but I want to come to your college. William, he said, I wrote the letter for him, but don't let it hit. He had an interview to get here. So he sat there with the embassy. So he said, I was so nervous I couldn't even sleep that night because all of his dreams were on them approving his request. So as he sits there, he said they start asking questions. What you plan on doing in America? What will you do if I don't give this to you? Well, I'll just go back and continue to try to serve our community. William's family was killed in the genocide of Rwanda. Remember Hotel Rwanda? His wife chopped up. Over 1 million people were killed in 90 days. His family was killed, so just him. So I wanted to help him. So William said he couldn't believe, so he didn't think he was going to get the money, so he said, okay. He said, you've been approved. They stamped his visa, got him everything. He said he didn't know what to do. He said he thought he was dreaming. He said, Dr. Hill, when they gave me, I got my visa, and they gave it to me, he said, I slept with it for 3 days in my crotch. He said, because in Africa, he said, we look so much alike. He said, they can steal your passport and somebody go show up for you so they can come to America. He said, so when I couldn't believe it. He said, then when I got on the plane and I landed in New York, he said, I saw the Statue of Liberty. He said, and my name is William Curran Beasley. He said, not Eddie Murphy, I'm William Curran Beasley, but I'm still coming to America. And you know what he did when he got here? As soon as he got here, he ran over to the house. He grabbed me and hugged me so tight. He said, thank you. You know what I'm telling you? Same thing I do for William. President Walker losing you. He helped me get your education. William hugged me so tight. I said, William, it's all good. It's real. You can let me go now. I said, let's go eat. Took him to the dining hall. Now, y'all see this, y'all know this today at lunch we eat. So we go through there, we walk in the dining hall. You see our food. Ask our students over here how good our food is. We balling in the dining hall. We balling. said, I'm gonna come over here like this. And he like this. He said, you got to be here. He walked through the line. He said, I can get anything on this. He said, yeah. His plate was getting so big. I said, well, you come back. You don't have to get it all at once. And when you sit down there to eat the first time, he saw one of the students go there, and y'all know how y'all throw food away. They like half their meatloaf or half their chicken or half their catfish. They threw it. Dr. Hill, why they throwing that food away? Oh, you Americans, you just wasteful. You just wasteful. See, I'm telling you this to understand what opportunity you got. And the last thing before I introduce you to our medical team, this is what William taught me. That's why I work with juveniles. That's why I work with re-entry inmates who work to help them understand what they can't see. Because sometimes we're blind. And we can't see even though we can see. Because we're looking right past it. Mr. Williams made me see something that I never had an opportunity to understand when I had another in 2009 Restore Hope program that had re-entry program in it that they would come here and then they would go back into the workforce after they finished their sentence. And William saw him for after about 2 or 3 weeks, he came up to him and William said, well, Dr. Hill, he said, I'm going to ask you something about those prisoners with the guards that come here this morning, so community correction. He said, I was told them they get to eat 3 times a day in prison too. He said, that's true. I said, yeah. I said, I don't speak in prison a lot. I said, their food's not as good as ours, but they get to eat three times a day. I said, he said, well, I also heard they got electricity in prison. He said, like you got it now going over here. Is that true? I said, yeah, that's true. He said, I also heard they get to watch TV. He said, is that true? I said, in the commons area, but not in the room. He said, well, that's it. And they got running water, they have flushing toilets. He said, in prison, in America. He said, that's true. I said, yeah, that's true. I said, wait, why do you keep asking questions? He said, you just don't realize. I said, what's wrong? He said, I got some friends who are one. If they can't go to our parties all day, they're going to do whatever it takes to get in your prison. Because see, what you think is bad, they think it's good. See, he opened up my eyes. See, one man trash, another man trash. What you going to do with your future? You gonna sit back here and you gonna say, I got problems? You're gonna start looking for solutions. So Meta 24 helps you find solutions. We got 8 labs here that's transformational, not transactional. Mr. Mitch Pettis, as we said at the mentioned, President Walker, they're business owners. Okay? Already. See, business owners allow you to do what you want to do. I used to own a laundromat in Arkansas. I realized I could be asleep and people washing clothes. That's how I put my wife in the car. At the time. What are you going to be doing? You know, first thing we did when I got here in 2006, we bought that car wash. You know what that car wash down there? We bought all the property around here with the corner of the car wash. You know why we bought it? Because it's the most dangerous corner in Little Rock. In 2006, it had 36 violent crimes. I said, we got to be transformational, not transactional. We bought the car wash. I got a $200,000 donation. We bought the car wash. It was just put wheels and grills out, put crispy crunchy down there. We started selling chicken. We were selling chicken like Chicken King. It was rolling. And then I tell you what happened. In 2009, we had 0 crime at the corner. None. You know why? We invest in our own community. That's what the Meta 24 is about. It's about investing in your community. So, I know it's time to move. We got 8 labs, and we're going to break you all up